I was sitting here and I was thinking about something. I just got home from work, and I'm over here just looking at my stuff that I have around the table. I've got randomly this roll of film. This is black and white, Kentmere 400. The first time I ever tried to develop a roll myself. Came out fairly well. I've also got random film canisters. I've got this Peterson box full of just boxes of different film I've been shooting, canisters, just random scrap stuff. I've also got this whole stack over here. I don't know if you can see it, but whole stack of negatives and CDs with my digital copies and paperwork and stuff like that. Straighten it out here. I've also got a bunch of film, just extra film here. You can see that I've just got like some Vision 3 over here. I've got some T-Max, some Vista, some Superia. This is some more of the Lomo 800. These are pretty cool. Those are my slides. My actual finished and mounted slides. Let's see here. It's like this right here. I don't know if you can see that, but that's Ellie. If I see that, that's my wife. It's Ellie, one of the photos I took. Slides are just cool. Like having a slide is an awesome thing. And I love having this stuff here for a whole variety of reasons. Putting on a projector and projecting it onto a wall is a real magical experience. Just looking at it over a light box is cool. I've also been really strict about getting all of my stuff printed lately. So I've got stacks of albums right here just as kind of placeholders. This is not how I want to, permanently store these photos, but I've just got these albums full now of 4x6s. I've been making sure to get every single photo I take printed, and having the physical, tactile, tangible photo in your hand is amazing what it does to you creatively and what it teaches you about the photos. We're so used to only seeing photos on screens, whether it's film or digital. We only view it on screens. And part of the inherent nature of a screen is that it's backlit. So it gives you the wrong idea, for one, about what the true exposure of the photo is. And then, of course, this changes depending on the screen you are using, the brightness, the color accuracy, how much contrast ratio that screen has, all these things. And then even the screen type. Like AMOLEDs are much better than LCDs as far as distinguishing different colors. But you still have color bleeding, and the spectrum of colors a screen can produce is nowhere near the actual real world spectrum of colors that we can see with our eyes and what you can see if you were to project that slide onto a wall. So the lights don't look how they're supposed to look, the darks don't look how they're supposed to look, the colors aren't quite the same, there's color bleeding, the detail and the tonality, the definition's not really there. Having a physical, tangible photo in your hand really teaches you a lot about what you actually took a photo of and how it actually looks and what the film or digital was able to actually capture and how it looks in the real world. And it kind of changes how you approach photography. But as I'm sitting here looking around, like this is my bag I take to work every day. It's just leather satchel. And in my bag right now, I've got my contacts with Mamiya 5514 on it. I've also got this 35mm old Tacumar from 1959. This thing is very, very old. It's almost as old as my dad. I've got this Zeiss 135 f2.8, and then I've got just a bunch of extra film. I've got some extra Vision 3, some extra Lomo 800. I've got some slide film in here. So I've got one camera with 3 total lenses and then 4 4 extra rolls of film, and then the plus one, the roll that's actually in the camera right now. On the table behind where this phone is sitting, I've got my Nikon F100. And this is just a cheap zoom lens. It's a Tamron 28-200, but even though it's a cheap little glorified kit lens, it actually takes surprisingly good photos. There's some distortion there, but other than that, they're surprisingly sharp, and all the reviews of this lens were actually pretty good, considering what it is. And I've got some extra lenses on the shelf over there. I've got my Yashica SLR on the shelf over there. But one of the things that struck me was that I had bought Liam that little disposable camera, that little Fujifilm 27 exposures disposable camera. And that was his birthday present. He got to go around and take whatever photos he wanted. I didn't coach him at all. I didn't tell him how to do anything. I didn't influence him. I wanted to really see his view of the world and what he thought were important things to take photos of, and how he saw them. And then I let him have the experience, as you probably saw in the other video. I let him have the experience of taking the photos and then taking them into the film lab and handing over the camera and getting the orders made, and then coming back a few days later and picking up the actual developed film and the prints. It was very important to me that he got to pick up the actual physical prints like I got to do when I was a kid, some 4x6s. Well, he got to keep his disposable camera, and there's no longer any film in it, and the battery's been taken out, so the little flash battery's not in there anymore, a little AAA. But I keep looking at this thing, and I look at just how unimposing it is. It is so small. It is so unbelievably tiny and simple. And it weighs almost nothing. I mean, with no film and no battery in here, there's basically nothing. I mean, it's just a plastic box. It has a little plastic lens attached. It's got a hole with a plastic, cover where you can look through as a rangefinder. And you've got a flash and a switch. I mean, there's almost nothing to this. But as I look at how small this thing is, how unbelievably small and unimposing and simple it is, how lightweight it is, I mean, it literally fits in your pocket. This is a full-frame camera. I mean, this gives you the power to take full-frame professional images. And some of the initial arguments would be like, well, the lens on this is bad. I've seen some amazing photos taken with these disposable cameras. The lenses are not great, they're not professional, but they're not crap. I mean, you can actually get sharp photos. You can get some good results if you're careful. And it's no different than a lot of these pros that just for fun, they'll use Helios lenses or Industar lenses. They'll shoot with Holgas. I mean, the photography world has a long history of cheap or subpar optics, no matter what you paid for them, and still getting great results just through creativity. So this lens isn't really a detriment to anything. And you'd say, well, it's just cheap film. But again, 35mm film is film. You can get some great results if you're using things appropriately. And one of the cool things about these little disposable cameras is you can actually pop them open and reload them with whatever film you want. I think it's Lomo. Lomography's come out with their 400 ISO simple use camera. And it's basically a disposable camera, but it's designed that you can easily reload it if you want. And I was thinking, man, what if I took one of these rolls of slide film, like some of this Ektachrome, or some of the Precisa, the CT100, or some Velvia or Provia. I could load slide film into one of these things. Velvia, for example, if I were to load Velvia into a little disposable camera, that would be amazing, theoretically. I mean, Velvia, it can distinguish 160 lines of detail per millimeter. When you scale that up on a full frame sensor, to get the digital equivalent, if you do the math, that comes out to, you'd need a digital Bayer sensor, a full frame digital Bayer sensor, that was the equivalent of about 170 megapixels in order to have the same resolving power as a full frame slide of Velvia. You have that kind of color and and contrast and tonality and detail that digital currently still can't touch. And you could potentially, I mean, you wouldn't get the best result out of it, but you could potentially put that in something like this. It's so cheap, it's basically free. And it fits in your pocket, it's light, it weighs nothing. It's basically always at f8, so everything's in focus all the time. I mean, you could do some street photography with this thing and have any film, any of your favorite film you want in black and white, color, slide film, color negative, anything. Just point and shoot, like what these are meant for. And it gives you the power of full frame professional photo quality in something like this. I mean, obviously it's not the same as having, there's a reason why we have good cameras. There's a reason why the F100 exists. There's a reason why my Contax exist, because this is not as good. But again, just think about that. I'm just sitting here, and for days and days, that's what keeps coming to my mind. I see this sitting on the table, and I can't help but to think, this is a full frame camera. That's amazing. Like, it's not new technology, but for some reason I still find myself thinking like, wow, what an age we live in, what a world we live in, that you can have the power and the quality of full frame goodness. Not only that it fits in your pocket, but we can set it up in such a way like this, that although it's very limited in what it can do, it's basically free. I mean, you'll throw it and break it and don't even care about it. And yet this can give you full frame goodness. And you can buy one of these already loaded with film, ready to shoot for $5. And then you can reload it with whatever film you want. You could put anything in there. That's just amazing to me. I'm going to do another video soon. I got a few videos I want to do. I need to do a video where I show some other types of workouts you can do on the Total Gym, because somebody was asking me about those, and I promised them I'd do some videos on that. I also need to do a review of my car. I bought a brand new car a few months back, almost 6 months ago, and I didn't want to do a first impressions review. I wanted to give you a good, thorough review of the car, because it's a car that is just not available in most of the Western world. It's very, very dominant and very popular in Asia. Very good company, very good car, amazing luxury, but most of the Western world doesn't know about it, and most of my viewers are Western. So I did want to kind of show you guys the car and do a review of that and give you an honest take on it as another video that I need to do. Of course, we've got holidays coming up, so there's going to be videos from holidays. I've got my some more film going to come back from the lab by Friday. It's some more slide film. I've got a few little projects I'm working on, some other things coming up. I've got more videos coming, basically, things that I need to do and things that I want to do and whatnot. But I did want to just take a few minutes and just kind of be one-on-one, be real with you. Nothing scripted, nothing. I mean, none of my stuff's really scripted, but there's really no greater point to this video other than me just kind of geek out a little bit and kind of be in awe at how advanced and amazing and spectacular this outdated old tech is, right? Simply amazing. Oh, I'll be getting a medium format camera very soon. I have two that I'm looking at very seriously. One of them is more expensive, but it's an unknown camera. Most people don't even know it exists. Most people have never heard about it, but it was actually made up until just a few years ago, and it was a professional medium format camera meant for studio use only, and most people don't even know it exists. And I have a friend who's got one, my film buddy who has the camera shop, he's got one, and he's offering me a good price on it, so I might get that. If I don't get that, the same guy has got a Mamiya RB67 that used to belong to his uncle that he's basically just giving away if I'm interested in it. So I don't know which one I'll get, but I cannot wait to get a medium format camera and run some Velvia 100 through it, and then geek out over the amazing results of what that Velvia can resolve. Like I said, amazing. All the goodness and resolving power of Velvia added to the amazing prospect of medium format. I just can't wait. There will be some videos coming up. They're going to be very exciting. I can't wait. But anyway, just want to geek out for a minute. I mean, this is a full frame camera, if you can believe it. That's phenomenal. I urge you all, please get some prints made, even if they're little 4x6s. It'll remind you of a whole different part of photography you had totally forgot about. It'll conjure up feelings of nostalgia and happiness and wanderlust, and you're going to love your photos in a whole new way and probably take a new approach to photography after you do that. So try some film if you haven't tried film. Even if it's just getting a disposable camera, you'll be surprised at what you can do with these things. There are some websites you can Google professionals that use disposable cameras and see how they've got amazing results with these things. Get some prints made. And if you're interested in any of the videos I said I'm going to be making soon, then maybe come back and check out one of those videos. But anyway, I got to eat dinner and start setting up my Christmas tree. So happy holidays to everybody. Thanks for watching. Let me geek out for a little bit, and I will talk to you later.